All right, welcome back to the third episode of the Sports and Entertainment Destination podcast. Today we got a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get right into it. Okay, so first off, we have kind of the big news of this, kind of the focal point of this podcast, maybe, is Julian Edelman's retirement. This is kind of like, as a New England Patriots fan, this one kind of hurts a little bit. It's pretty crazy that, like, kind of the original squad, I'd say, where it seems for my generation as a 19-year-old kid, is kind of falling apart with Edelman, Gronk, and Brady just not on the Pats anymore. Obviously, we have Gronk and Brady together in Tampa. Maybe there's a reunion there with Edelman going to Tampa, but you never know. At this point, he is out of the NFL. But some things to note about that is that, you know, his career has been like unbelievable. Known as the Squirrel, he's a grinder always, through his college career to his NFL to high school. He's been a grinder, and that's kind of been his MO throughout his career, and so his career stats: 36 touchdowns, career touchdowns. 137 games played, 630 receptions, and over 6,800 yards. That's a good career, decent career, and all with the Pats. But something that's even more impressive is his playoff stats. If you want to compare like playoff stats with like Jerry Rice and those guys, the top tight ends of all time. Wide receivers of all time. He's right up there in playoff stats, and those playoff stats include he's had 19 games, 118 catches, 11,422 yards, 7 touchdowns, 3 Super Bowl rings, and also a Super Bowl MVP to cap off his playoff stats, his career stats, because last year was kind of a weird year with COVID, without Brady, but just a good way to go out right there. I'm going to miss him. He's one of my favorite athletes of all time, as someone who's just like, he's not the biggest guy. He was not drafted high. He was, he's just a grinder, like I said, the Squirrel. And he's just an athlete that I can always look up to. He's kind of has the same vibe to me with like Dustin Pedroia, like those two similar vibes with those two Boston athlete legends. So we're gonna miss Julian Edelman. Hopefully he teams back up with Gronk and Brady. We'll see what happens, but I think it's awesome. To end his career as a New England Patriot. That I'm so happy with the way like he's gone out. Unfortunately, it's like he's gone out kind of with injuries and stuff. Maybe not the way we kind of dreamed him to go out, but there's so much respect for him, and he's just a dude. He's a dude all around. And okay, so the next thing we're gonna get into is we're gonna talk about the Red Sox, and they've been kind of a little hot streak, 9 straight wins. As I'm recording, which is April 15th, they've had 9 straight wins. And tonight, actually, they lost that streak. They lost 3-2 to the Twins tonight, unfortunately. But still, it's a good sign of like where they're going, because they started off the season against the Orioles. Wouldn't say that they're too great of a team within the last couple of years, but the Red Sox, they went down 3 games to start off, kind of a bleak start. If that was a glimpse into the season, then it wasn't looking good. But they've won 9 straight before tonight, and hopefully they can bounce back. They lost 3-2, so a close game. They can bounce back, win another game, and get on another hot streak, because I really like this team. It's kind of strange, but they have like a lot of young guys mixed with good vets. But between like Alex Verdugo, he's been doing really well. Bogarts, he's awesome. One of my favorite players, shortstop. He always does well. No Mookie Betts, which is what made this year interesting. So hopefully they can continue and do well. Hopefully make a playoff push without Mookie. Pitching looks pretty good. Nate Eovaldi. Hopefully Eduardo Rodriguez, he's coming back. Hopefully he stays healthy. So hopefully they make that playoff push. I'm rooting for them this year. Between Bobby Dalbec, all these young guys, they're young prospects. Nick York, he has not played in the big leagues yet, but I'm excited for him in a couple years, hopefully too. So it's and by the way, Kike Hernandez on the Red Sox, one of my favorite players, one of the very fun players to watch. My brother's favorite player of all time is Kike Hernandez. We're glad the Red Sox got him. Unfortunately, to get him, we had to get rid of Mookie Betts. That's not necessary. He was a free agent. He signed, but then eventually we got Kike. But at least we got him to kind of make things fun for me, my brother, at least. And also, kind of going out on this podcast, we middle of watching The Walking Dead season 10. It's been good so far, but we'll see where it goes from there. So thanks for listening to the third episode of the podcast, and see you later.